Imagine waking up exhausted, even after a whole night's sleep. Your mood swings feel out of control, your energy is nowhere to be found, and you're starting to wonder, is this really what being in your 40s feel like? But what if the real issue isn't just your hormones? What if the silent driver behind your fatigue, anxiety, and imbalance is something you've been overlooking? Following my previous episode, we're pulling back the curtain on the powerful, often underestimated connection between your gut and your hormones today. And trust me, what you learn today could change how you care for your body forever. Hi there, I'm Shanine. As a certified health coach and kinesiologist, I help busy women in their 40s who feel tired, overwhelmed, anxious, frustrated, and stuck to live their best years in great health and balance. Together, we'll explore a life that reflects intentional living and lays the foundation for you to live your life's purpose and flourish in your 40s. Welcome to Becoming You at 40. If you're a woman in your 40s feeling constantly tired, moody, or out of balance, this episode is for you. Like last time, we're going beyond the usual blame it on your hormones narrative and uncovering a more profound, often overlooked truth. Your gut health could be the missing link. And today, Yvonne Kirstein, a registered dietitian, will be joining me in a powerful conversation that elaborates on how your gut and hormones are intricately connected, why digestive issues might be behind your fatigue, anxiety, or weight struggles, and what practical steps you can take to restore balance and feel like yourself again. This episode is packed with expert insights and simple, actionable advice to help you regain control of your health. You can join the Becoming You at 40 community by following my podcast, so click on that follow button now.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
I'm so glad you're here. The previous episode really struck a chord with many of you, and honestly, with me too. We talked about that all too familiar feeling of being tired, moody, and just off. And we uncovered something powerful. It's not just our hormones causing the chaos. It's our gut health too. And this is something I've experienced personally. I remember standing in front of the fridge one morning, feeling completely overwhelmed. I was hungry, but too scared to eat because I didn't know what was making me feel so unwell. And it wasn't until I started focusing on my gut health that things began to shift. My energy came back, the fog lifted, and I finally felt like myself again. And that's why I'm so excited about today's episode. I've invited a very special guest, Yvonne Kirstein, who is a registered dietitian with 20 plus years of experience, to help us further unpack the connection between your gut health and hormones, especially for women in their 40s. So Yvonne, very welcome to Becoming You at 40. It's such an honor to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much, Janine. It's very nice to see you again, and thank you for having me on your podcast.
It's such a pleasure. Now, Yvonne and me go back a couple of years. I visit her in her practice a couple of times, and she's really given me such great advice. And that's why I thought I'll invite her on today's episode so that she can share more of her knowledge with us. So, Yvonne, just from my own experience, I can testify that prioritizing good gut health significantly impacted my health in such a positive way. So I know you also know that this topic is very close to my heart. And I'm also sure that you will agree that this is really a very important topic, especially for women in their 40s who are battling hormone imbalances and the associated symptoms of perimenopause.
Absolutely.
Now, just before we dive into today's conversation, I also just want to remind the listeners that they will receive a free Becoming You at 40 eating plan when they subscribe to my newsletter. And this plan is a great starting point for improving your gut and overall health. The link is in the description box. Yvonne, first tell us, why did you become a dietitian?
Actually, one of my best friends at school, his mom was a dietitian, and when I used to visit his house, I would go into her office and it would look so interesting. So that actually triggered my interest in dietetics, and when I was in high school, I learned a little bit more about it, and that's when I decided this is the road that I want to go.
So you've actually always know that this is where you want to serve. Can you tell us, what do you specialize in as a dietitian?
So I've worked in various fields of dietetics. I worked in London as a renal dietitian, pediatric, diabetic dietitian, but currently I am focusing on weight loss, especially for women over 40, as I am in my 40s myself.
Yeah, I think we are the same age. I think we are both 45, and we know the struggles of being in your 40s and what it takes to manage your weight and balance your hormones. So I feel confident that you are absolutely the best person for today's conversation. Thank you so much for being here. So Yvonne, from your experience, what is the number one concern or complaint that women in their 40s have regarding their diet and health?
For women in their 40s, the number one concern or complaint about diet and health is usually weight management, especially unexplained weight gain or difficulty in losing weight, even when eating and exercising as they used to in their 20s and 30s. They find that they don't lose the weight as fast as they used to, even though their diet hasn't changed much. And this tends to be the top issue because of a couple of things. First of all, hormonal changes. Perimenopause, going through menopause, declining estrogen and progesterone, a shift in metabolism and increase in your fat storage, especially around the midsection. Another thing that they complain about is loss of muscle. That is called sarcopenia, which slows down your metabolism in the end. So you still eat the same, but the weight keeps on coming on. This happens to everyone, but especially it's noticeable in women once their hormones begin shifting in their late 30s and 40s. Starting in your 30s, both men and women begin losing about 3 to 8% of muscle mass per 10 years.
Sure, that's a lot.
That is a lot, and after 50, the rate escalates to about 1 to 2% of muscle loss per year, especially if no strength training or muscle-preserving lifestyle is followed.
Exercise is so important.
Absolutely. A lot of my patients would ask me, if they come to me for a weight loss diet, they would ask if they want to start doing some exercise, what would I suggest? And I always say, don't start with cardio. Start with some or other weight training.
Yeah.
Another thing that can actually impact your weight is a busy lifestyle and lifestyle pressures like work and family, as well as stress, because that makes healthy eating and consistent exercise a little bit harder to maintain, especially if you are busy. And then lastly, sleep disturbances. That is very common in your 40s due to hormones that change and also due to stress, and that can further disrupt your metabolism and give you cravings.
Yvonne, you touched on so many relatable points. A lot of what you said, even I definitely relate to that. Busy lifestyles making it difficult to cook a healthy meal. It's much easier to go through the drive-through,
Yes.
buy junk food. And weight management always becomes a big concern and a frustration once women reach 40. But there are other concerns as well. What other related concerns do you often hear in your practice as a dietitian?
One of the main things is low energy levels, being fatigued, and then digestive issues, especially bloating and constipation. Low energy and fatigue, when you are tired, you don't feel like cooking the healthy food, and it's much easier just to buy something. But I always say, something that you cook at home and something that you buy doesn't contain the same nutrients because it's cooked differently.
Yeah.
Then digestive issues. We will chat a little bit more about this topic soon. Another thing that a lot of people complain about is blood sugar levels that vary during the day. Sudden spikes and sudden drops, which can make you feel hungry, and that also can increase your cravings. Blood sugar that suddenly varies a lot can also be early signs of insulin resistance. So if your blood sugar level varies, you need to see someone to find out what is causing that.
And you can really increase your energy levels just by focusing on getting your blood sugar levels balanced.
Absolutely. Remember when you saw me, Shanine, the one thing that I focused on, and I focus on that with all of my patients, is the timing of your meals.
Yes.
Making sure that you have your meals at exactly the same time every single day and no more than 3 hours apart. I also suggest to my patients having 3 main meals and 2 snacks per day. That actually stabilizes your blood sugar levels, and that makes sure that your energy levels are stable, and that also when your blood sugar levels are stable, your body goes into a fat burning mode instead of a fat storing mode.
I still follow those guidelines. I still have my
Awesome.
3 meals a day. I still have my 2 small snacks a day.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I must say it really impacted my health significantly and my energy levels. I've really seen a difference. So, yeah, I get what you are saying here. Is there any other concerns that women in their 40s usually share with you?
Yes, bone health. Peak bone mass is usually reached by the late 20s and early 30s. And after 40, women naturally begin to lose bone density at about 0.5 to 1% per year. And after menopause, bone loss can actually accelerate to 3% per year due to estrogen declining. And this raises the risk for osteopenia, which is low bone density, and osteoporosis, making your bones more fragile and then more prone to fractures, especially your hip and your wrists.
Yeah. And that's very, very important because a hip fracture or a spine fracture can have long-lasting negative effects on your health. So it's really something that they need to consider.
Women complain, why am I gaining weight and feeling more tired even though I haven't changed how I eat? And that is the most common frustration in this age group.
I've heard it so many times in my practice as well, Yvonne. And as you are speaking, it just becomes so clear that it is of vital importance that women in their 40s should not take their health for granted. Now, in my previous episode, we explored why women in their 40s often feel moody and tired and out of balance. And we dived into how it is not only your hormones that affect your health and energy, but also your gut that plays a significant role in your energy, your weight management, and your mood. Can you tell us more about the link between your gut and your hormones?
Yes, I always say 70% of your immune system sits in your gut. Your digestive health and your hormones are closely connected through what's often called the gut hormone axis. When your gut isn't functioning optimally, it can throw your hormones off balance, and that can lead to symptoms like being tired, mood swings, irregular cycles, and also some weight changes.
I must say, Yvonne, I find the gut-brain axis absolutely fascinating. It's so amazing how the different systems in your body can impact each other. Our bodies are really so complex. Now, as mentioned in my previous episode, the gut microbiome consists of 100 trillion microorganisms, which is astonishingly a lot, but they are essential to our health and our well-being. Can you tell us more about how your digestive health affects your hormones?
Yes, certain gut bacteria help to metabolize and eliminate estrogen, and if that gut bacteria is low, the estrogen can recirculate in the body, and that can lead to certain symptoms like heavy periods and PMS. And also, hormone production requires certain vitamins and minerals like magnesium and zinc. And if your gut health is poor, these vitamins and minerals aren't absorbed properly, and that can also leave you nutrient deficient, which can make you tired.
Interesting. It's such a complex relationship, isn't it? Now, just before we dive deeper, I'd love to hear from the listeners. So, have you recently noticed a shift in your mood, your energy, or digestion, and wondered if your gut might play a role? If anything we've shared so far resonates with you, take a moment to pause and reflect, or even jot down a note. And if you are listening on a platform that allows comments or reviews, I'd be so grateful if you share your thoughts or your experiences. You never know if your story might help another woman feel less alone on her journey. Now, Yvonne, from my previous episode, we now know that the ideal ratio for good and bad bacteria in your gut is 85% good and 15% bad. And we also discussed the importance of a healthy, nutrient-rich, balanced diet to maintain a healthy gut bacteria profile. Now, as a health coach and a kinesiologist, I am a firm believer, and I'm sure you as a dietitian as well, that your health is directly impacted by what you put on your
Absolutely.
fork. Yes. So can you tell us more about how women in their 40s can support their hormones through a healthy digestive tract?
5 things that I'm going to stress today. First of all, eat more fiber. Fiber is found in vegetables, fruit, legumes, seed and whole grains. And fiber supports your bowel movements. It helps to eliminate excess estrogen and it keeps your gut healthy. Support gut bacteria. Probiotic-rich foods like yogurt and kefir and prebiotic fibers like onions, garlic and bananas. So focus on anti-inflammatory foods like omega-3. Omega-3 we find in flax seeds, oily fish and colorful fruit and vegetables, and then also some healthy spices like turmeric. At Dischem, you get natural herbs and spices that I encourage my patients to use because it doesn't contain any preservatives and colorants. And that is the next thing that I want to touch on. Limit your gut disruptors like highly processed foods, extra sugars and alcohol. And then also using too much antibiotics and other medication. Lastly, stay hydrated. 78 to 80% of the body is water. And water is used not only in your brain and to breathe, but also in your gut and to help keep your bowel movements happy.
You mentioned the spices. When I was at your practice one day with an appointment, you also mentioned that to me. I still buy those spices.
Amazing.
That's the only spices that I cook with. And it's really delicious. You don't need all those preservatives and added sugar in your flavorants that you add to your food. I think it's so important that we keep our food as natural as possible.
Absolutely.
Whole
It tastes
foods,
much better.
Yeah. We really don't need added sugar and all sorts of processed or sauces to make it taste good. I think what nature provides is already best.
Absolutely.
What you are sharing with us is so helpful, but it's also so empowering to know that there actually is a lot that we can do to feel better. We don't have to feel so uncomfortable and tired. And it's really incredible how quickly we can change our gut microbiome just by making a few dietary changes. And what you have shared with us is easy and actionable ways to support our hormone balance and gut health. So Yvonne, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing such valuable insights. I know this conversation will resonate deeply with so many women who are navigating the ups and downs of their 40s.
Yes, definitely.
Now, gut health can feel like a complex topic, but today you've really helped us understand that it is also incredibly empowering. And when we take care of our gut, we're not just improving digestion, we're supporting our hormones, our mood, our energy, and our overall well-being. And if you are listening and feeling a little overwhelmed by all the information, that's okay. Just start with one small change. One step toward better gut health can lead to big shifts in how you feel. Yvonne, how would you break that down? If you could suggest a single step that our listeners can take, what would that be?
Eat more fiber. Fruit, vegetables, plant-based foods. I try and encourage my patients to have at least one day a week where they don't have any meat, any red meat, chicken or fish, but focus on beans and legumes. And you can have a little bit of cheese and maybe some egg and the beans and lentils as your main protein source, and focus on having and eating colorful foods, fruit and vegetables, and whole grains as well. Change your pasta to whole wheat pasta and your rice to brown rice. That increases your fiber content significantly.
And fiber plays such a big role in our gut health. That's such excellent advice. Thank you so much. And thank you again for sharing your wisdom and guiding us to better health today.
Thank you.
If the listeners would like to get in contact with you, how would they be able to reach you?
So don't Google what you must eat for gut health. Google my name.
Perfect. There you have it, my friends. Please contact Yvonne if you need any more information. Go check out her website, Yvonne Kirstein. Like I mentioned, I've seen her a couple of times and she's really given me such sound advice. And I also just want to remind you that you can also sign up for my newsletter, and then you will receive that free Becoming You at 40 eating plan. And that eating plan focuses on whole foods and balanced meals for optimum energy so you can feel balanced and vibrant again. The link is in the description box. Until next time, take care of your gut, be kind to yourself, and keep showing up for the women you are becoming.